Are you ready? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a statement on the flood emergency in Nairobi, and it's a statement that we're making after extensive meeting with the representatives of Nairobi, that is honorable members of parliament, and also with the governor of Nairobi. Fellow Kenyans and Nairobi residents, it is now clear that we are in the grasp of a national flooding disaster, especially within Nairobi City County. Relentless rains currently pounding the nation have caused severe damage, including loss of lives, destruction to infrastructure, and overwhelmed the city's poorly managed drainage system. I have held a consultative meeting with the political leadership of Nairobi, including members of the National Assembly and the Senator, with the aim of getting a clear picture, shining sharp focus on the suffering of residents, as well as mobilizing urgent support for mitigation measures. We hasten to add that all such mitigation measures are emergency ones, but the conversation must later move to long-term actions to safeguard the lives and property of the city's residents. Allow us first to send a message of condolences to the families and friends of those who have lost their lives following the floods, as well as a message of goodwill to those who have suffered losses in whatever form. Be assured that your leaders, we are doing all in our ability and power to extend all possible forms of support at this time. We call upon the national and county governments to lead from the front in rescue and support missions. We also appeal to local and international partners to join us in this venture. If Nairobi is this overwhelmed, we fear our people in rural Kenya could be in for worse times should the rains continue as expected. We therefore call on our county governments to learn from Nairobi's helplessness and do better for our people. And we have seen on television screens conditions in several parts of our country. As of this morning, the general outlook in parts of Nairobi has been as follows. Severe flooding has covered all the roads in the Kamkunji area. Flash floods from the Nairobi River have devastated homes in various informal settlements, including Majengo, Kitui Village, Kinyago, Kanuku, Blue Estate, Motherland, Mlolongo, Mugunda, and Kiambu. This calamity has led to the displacement of hundreds of residents, forcing them to seek refuge with the neighbors and in local churches. The footbridges connecting the neighborhoods of Mbakazi and Makadara have been washed away due to the raging waters. The residents of these affected areas, many of whom are employed in the nearby industrial area, now have to walk longer distances to reach their workplaces. In Embakasi West constituency, all footbridges at Alezin, City, Katon have been swept away. 1,500 households displaced at Alezin, City, Katon by Nairobi River bursting its banks. 700 households in Kariobangi South displaced by storm, water and sewage bursts. 1,000 households displaced by storm, water and sewage bursts in Molem Ward. 1,000 homes affected by storm water in Umoja 1 and Umoja 2. 2 children's homes displaced by storm water, and over 500 orphans have no place to sleep. Umoja 1 Primary, Buruburu Primary, Kariobangi South Primary, Busara Primary, and Peter Kibukosia Primary totally flooded. Over 3,000 mattresses required, food for over 10,000 temporary shelters required for over 1,000 people. 50 people reported injured, no casualties so far. Mathare and Ruaraka constituencies, dwellings and properties on ground level have been submerged, and there are reports of 1 dead from the electrocution. River Mathare burst its banks while the storm overflows from Thika superhighway have poured into low-lying areas of the constituencies. The Mathare ground situation is currently as hereunder. Households affected are 5,200. Total number affected are about 14,000 individuals. Temporary shelter is currently at Mathare Special School for displaced residents from Huruma and Kiamaiko. Those displaced from Hostel Ward and Mabatini are sheltered temporarily at Mathare Vocational Training Center and ODM office. With regard to the destruction of infrastructure, the following bridges have been completely swept off. Gumba Bridge joining Mathare Mabatini Ward and Ruaraka Utalii Ward. 4B Bridge joining 4B in Hostel Ward and Ruaraka. Mathare North Kiamaiko Bridge joining Huruma Ward in Mathare and Mathare North in Ruaraka. DP Bridge joining Mlango Kubwa Village and Kosovo Hostel Ward in Mathare. Thiga Bridge joining Hostel Ward and Mlango Kubwa Village 2. Humanitarian assistance needed immediately include foodstuffs, blankets, mattresses, water and medicines. Long-term assistance needed include building materials to reconstruct houses for those displaced and financial assistance to resettle those who had built on riparian land near the river. In Kibra constituency, the situation is as follows. Up to 810 households have been displaced and 4 people presumed dead. 2 bodies have been retrieved while 2 are yet to be located. The bridge connecting Sarangombe and Langata has been washed away. We beseech residents to immediately move to higher ground to avoid being caught in more flooding. In Embakasi South constituency, the unfolding situation is as this. Nairobi River has broken the banks and swept into Kware Primary School, where it is about 3 feet high. It has covered the houses at Kimondo area and has filled the Bimji quarry hole. In Kwanjenga, the water has backed up the road all the way to Ebenezer's shop. In Kwaruben, the whole of the lower Ruben is underwater. The 3 bridges connecting Kwaruben and Makadara have been swept away. That is the Sinai Ruben Bridge, the Lungalunga Ruben Bridge, and the Kingston Ruben Bridge. The Kwara Sinai Bridge has also been swept away. There are clear indications that any existing emergency systems are overwhelmed and will not cope the more the disaster unravels. It is therefore our urgent appeal that 1. The President and government hereby declare the floods a national disaster and immediately activate all emergency mechanisms, including military disaster response teams. 2. The Red Cross moves to launch an emergency disaster support kitty to assist families affected by the flooding for urgent distribution on a case-by-case basis. As we speak, the Azimio members of Parliament assembled here have already put together the sum of Kenya shillings 1 million as a start, which shall be given to the Red Cross in Nairobi for distribution to the affected people. The county and national governments unveil a robust, that is 3. The county and national governments unveil a robust information gathering and sharing system to enable people report and avoid disasters as they unfold. 4. While we continue to receive reports from other parts of Nairobi and access to some neighborhoods that remains critically limited, we appeal to the government and other disaster response agencies to launch thorough search and rescue efforts in all affected areas and provide food rations, blankets, and medication to affected residents. It is important to point out that all forecasts show that the rains will be pouring some more tonight and the coming days, which means the disaster is about to get worse. Preparedness is key to forestalling a crisis of larger proportions. What I've said about Nairobi applies almost with equal weight across the entire country. The entire country, as we talk today, is in a situation of a national disaster. Therefore, it is important that the government moves with speed to mobilize all the national resources available, in the country to deal with this situation. The military, the paramilitary, police should all be engaged in order to help our people. Across the country, you've seen Tana River, you have seen Baringo, you have seen Mandera, you have seen Homa Bay, you have seen Nyando, you have seen Busia, you have seen, it's all over the country. Even in some of the most unlikely places, there is disaster. As we go through all this and seek help, I believe that all Kenyans believe that as a country, we deserve better and we can do better. I believe that as a country, we can do better than crying for help when rains come and crying for help again when rains fail. We can do better. End of the statement.
No questions.